Hello everyone, and welcome once again to my channel. Today we'll be looking at how to solve linear equations. And in solving linear equations, we'll be looking at different kinds of equations. We're looking at balancing of equations, we're looking at equations with brackets, and also how to solve equations with fractions. So it's going to be a very interesting video. Now, before we go into our examples on the board, I just want to get some definitions out of the way. Now, an equation is a statement that two algebraic expressions are equal in value. For example, in this very first example that I wrote here, 4 minus 4x is equals to 9 minus 12x. It is a linear equation. That expression is a linear equation with an unknown x. Now, this equation is only true when x has a particular numerical value. Now, you're saying that 4 minus 4x is equals to 9 minus 12x is true for a particular value for x. What we're just trying to say is that when you're solving a linear equation, you must find the value of the unknown. Algebraic expressions, we don't usually find the value of the unknown, but when we're dealing with equations like linear equations, we must find out the value of the unknown. So that is what we're going to do here. Let's start with the very first example that says solve 4 minus 4x is equals to 9 minus 12x. Now, as you can see, the equation here has two sides. It has a left-hand side and it also has a right-hand side. Now, for the left-hand side, there's a number as well as the right-hand side. And then for the left-hand side, we have an algebraic term like 4x. And then we have another algebraic term on the right-hand side, which is what? 12x. So now, what you usually do in a situation like this is that you collect like terms so that the whole numbers will be on one side of the equation, while the algebraic terms will be on another side of the equation. For example, we're going to have to move the whole numbers to one side and then move the algebraic terms to another side. It doesn't matter if the algebraic term is on the right hand side and the whole numbers on the left. Just make sure that when you are moving it, you observe the change in the sign of each of the terms and numbers you are moving. So let us just start with this. Now, what I want to do is I want to move the algebraic terms to the left-hand side and move the numbers to the right-hand side. So I already have one algebraic term, which is minus 4x on the left-hand side. Minus 4x. So I now move minus 12x to the left hand side, and when I move minus 12x to the left hand side, this value of minus will change to plus. So when this minus 4x moves to the left hand side, it now becomes plus 12x equals. Now we have 9 here already on the right hand side, so leave it there. So I'm going to take 4 and move it over this equal sign to the right hand side. And when this 4, which is positive 4, is moved over this equal sign to the right hand side, it becomes minus 4. Okay. So now we have minus 4x plus 12x. We can rearrange this to be 12x, which is positive, and minus 4x, which will give us 9 minus 4 is 5. So now when you say 12x minus 4x will give you what? 8x equals to 5. Now, you need to find the value of x. That is the whole essence of solving the equation. So for you to be able to get the value of x, you divide both sides by 8 because you want x to stand on its own. You don't want it to have a coefficient that is greater than 1. Okay, so you're going to have to divide it by the number here, which is 8, and at the same time divide this number also by 8. You're going to divide both sides by 8. So 8 divided 8 will give you what? X is equals to what? 5/8. So let's go through it once again. In solving a linear equation of this magnitude, what you do, you collect all the whole numbers to one side, you collect all the algebraic terms to the other side of the equation. And when you're moving them, you observe the change in their signs as they pass the equal sign. So when you now collect both of the numbers and the algebraic terms in the opposite side of the equation, you now will simplify them by adding or subtracting, and then you now ensure that you find the value of the unknown by dividing both sides by the coefficient of that unknown, and then you now get your final answer. So now that one is done. Now we're going to how to solve equations with brackets. How to solve equations with brackets. Now you can see we have an example on the board, and you can see that we have about 2 brackets and 2 numbers in front of them. So we want to solve this particular equation. You see it has an equal sign equal to 0. So how do we go about that? Now the first thing you need to do here is to make sure you what? Remove the brackets. Remove the brackets for this equation. And then when you remove the brackets of the equation, then you now what? Simplify the terms by collecting like terms as we did in this case. So let's first of all remove the brackets. And remove the brackets, we're going to solve by multiplying 3 by everything that is inside here and multiplying minus 4 by everything that is inside here. So 3 times 4c will give you what? 12c. 3 times minus 7 is 21. Then minus 4 times 4c is what? Minus 16c. Minus 4 times minus 1 is plus 4 equal to 0. So now what we've done, we have removed the bracket by multiplying each number is outside the bracket by what is inside the brackets. So next one we'll do now is what? Collecting like terms. So we now have 12c minus 16c minus 21 plus 4 is equals to 0. So now what is 12c minus 16c? 12c minus 16c is what? Minus 4c. What is minus 21 plus 4? Minus 21 plus 4 is what? Minus 17, which is equals to 0. So now remember what I said in this first case. We have minus 4c minus 17. In this first case, I said I want to move the algebraic term to one side of the equal sign, while we move the whole number to the other side of the equal sign. So what we're going to do now, we're going to move this number here, the whole number, to this other side of the equal sign. So we'll now have minus 4c is equals to, this is minus 17. When it moves over to the other side of the equal sign, it becomes what? Plus 17. Now we want to find the value of c. To get the value of the unknown, we want to divide both sides by minus 4. So divide both sides by what? Minus 4. Minus 4 will cancel minus 4, which will give us c is equals to 17 all over minus 4 will give us minus 17 all over 4. And like we know, this is what we call an improper fraction. So we're going to have to convert it to a proper fraction. So what do you do? We now say c is equal to, when we convert this to a proper fraction, it will now give you minus 4 whole number 1 all over 4. Let's go to the last equation, which is equations with fractions. And you can see on the board we have a question that says solve 3x plus 2 all over 6 minus 2x minus 7 all over 9. Now, before you can go ahead to solve equations with fractions, the first thing to do is that you must always clear the fractions before beginning to solve any equation. If you are given an equation with fractions and you ask to solve that equation, what you must do first of all is to clear the fractions. And how do you clear the fractions? You clear the fractions by multiplying each term in the equation by the LCM of the denominators of the fractions. Now, the denominators of these fractions are 6 and 9. And of course, the LCM of 6 and 9 will give us 18. In case you do not know how I got this value, I have a video on how to derive the LCM of fractions, so you can go ahead and watch that video. The LCM of 6 and 9 is 18. And now we are told that in order for us to clear the fraction, we have to multiply each of these terms here, or each of these fractions, by this LCM of these two denominators. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, let's do that individually. So let's say 18 times 3x plus 2 all over 6 minus 18 times 2x minus 7 all over 9 is equal to 0. Now 6 here can divide 18 to give you 3. 9 here can divide 18 to give you 2. So now 3 multiply everything here. So 3 multiply everything here will give us something like this. Minus, we have 2 here, multiply everything in this bracket, which is equals to 0. So we can see that this equation now has taken this form. From equation with fractions, it has now become an equation with brackets. And of course, we know how we can proceed from here. We clear the brackets. We remove the brackets by multiplying what is outside the bracket by everything that is inside the bracket. So now say 3 times 3x is 9x. 3 times plus 2 is plus 6. Here we have minus 2 times minus 2x is minus 4x. Minus 2 times minus 7 is plus 14, which is equals to 0. Again, what do we do here? We collect like terms. We now say 9x minus 4x, which are like terms, plus 6 plus 14, which is equals to 0. Now, what is 9x minus 4x? We give us what? 5x plus, what is plus 6 plus 14? Is plus 20 is equal to 0. So what do we do in this case? We move one of them to the other side so that we can now find the value of x. So in this case, I'm going to move 20 to the other side. When you move plus 20 to the other side, it will now give you what? Minus 20. When you move plus 20 to the other side, it gives you minus 20. Now, to find the value of x, I want to find the value of x. So what do? I divide both sides by 5. Because I need the x to be on its own. So I divide both sides by the value of the coefficient of x. So 5, we divide 5, leaving x. And minus 20 divided by 5 will give you minus 4, which is the value of x. Now, if you want to check to see that your answer for your unknown is correct, what you need to do is just to take the value of your unknown and put it back in the original equation to see if it will equal to 0. If at the end of the day, you take the value of x and you put it back into the equation, it gives you 0, that means you are correct. But these are the steps in which you need to take to solve equations with fractions, equations with brackets, and then balancing of equations, of linear equations. So for this equation with fractions, if you're given an equation with fraction, what you need to do is, first of all, what? Remove the fraction by what? Multiplying the LCM of the denominators of each fraction with each of the terms in the equation. And then you go ahead to what? Simplify it by removing the brackets, collecting like terms, and then what? Making sure that you find the value of the unknown. And then you will get your answer. Now with that, I've come to the end of today's video. If this video is very helpful, please give it a thumbs up and a like. Also, if you have any question, do go ahead and comment in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe and also hit the notification bell to get notified whenever I drop my new videos. Thank you and see you next time.